Okay, this is the first video in the hands-on series of learning Microsoft Azure, where we are diving into cloud computing, again on the Microsoft side. So, as you can see here, we are in the Azure portal. We have a couple of the services here that Microsoft recommends. These are the recent resources that I've created, and you have some more useful links and some tools for learning more about Microsoft Azure, cost, etc. If I go ahead and click on this link here, more services, you can see the whole host of Microsoft services that they offer in Azure, from AI, analytics, computing, databases, integration, IoT, mixed reality, security, everything. It's just a whole host. So my thought process for this series is to kind of start with the basics and kind of expand our way out, kind of like an expanding onion, to where we start in the center, the very basics, and as we go further and further and further out, we have this ever encompassing circle of services and knowledge that we built upon, starting from the center. So do not be overwhelmed. We're going to take things at a very beginner friendly level, and my job is to try to explain this as easy as possible for you. So let me just go over here, refresh the Azure portal, and for this video we are going to be focusing on two main areas here, which are going to be your subscription and your resource group. So if I go over here to subscription, this is my subscription name. Each subscription would have an ID associated with it, and then you can kind of see what the cost is. Now, when you think of a Microsoft Azure, a Microsoft Azure subscription, you can think of it in a sense as it's a giant box, and in that box you can have like a whole host of services, or you can have like additional boxes as well. It's basically a container to where you keep all of your Azure resource services. Some companies, they just have a single subscription to where they throw everything in. Larger companies, they more along the lines of separate things into production and development, or you have a UAT environment or an external environment related to production, etc., etc. So you can become very creative when it comes to your subscriptions, but at the very basic level, it's basically like a giant container. So if I go back here to the Azure portal once again, let me refresh my page. And I had mentioned there was another item that we were going to talk about, and this one was called resource groups. Now, this is a resource group that I had created. You can see here it's associated with my main subscription. It also has a subscription ID. You can associate tags as well. Tags is just, basic identifiers that you can put to your different resources in Azure to identify them, specifically for a project and such. We can get into that much later, but again, at the simplest of all levels, you can also think of a resource group as another container. Now, in the example earlier, I told you that the subscription, you can think of it as a giant box or a container, and inside that box you can have stuff. Well, a resource group in this instance is kind of like another box that you put into that bigger box called a subscription. So that's basically what it is. They are basically containers for you to hold services, and this is kind of what they look like. You can again have tags, such. You can come down here, you can see the costs associated with it. So from a billing or an accounting perspective, you can definitely get the costs associated for different areas. You can set up a whole bunch of metrics and alerts. So hopefully we can get further into this as we go along. This is my personal Azure sandbox, so we'll try not to deploy stuff that is too expensive, but you guys will get the idea. So again, this is the first video in the series. We are going to be going through this, and hopefully you all will find it very helpful. This is Sean Sims Tech, and I will be making another Azure video for you shortly in the near future. And again, this one's going to be more hands-on, so you don't have to worry so much about the theory stuff. You'll have to suffer through my voice, but at least you'll be able to see me going through and practically doing stuff as well. Thank you.